and welcome back to Organized-ish. My name is Leela and I am the host of the Organized-ish Purge-A-Thon. This is an event that I host twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And today is the official kickoff of the spring 2025 season. I might be a little biased, but I really think this is going to be the best season that we've had so far. I have so many surprises in store for you. I have guest experts this year, which is something new that we're adding, and it's just going to be so much more fun. If you are unfamiliar with how the Purge-A-Thon works, let me give you a quick little rundown. Every day throughout the event, you are going to be setting a timer for whatever amount of time you have. Some people like to do 5, some people like to do 15 minutes, some like to do a full hour if they've really got lots of time, or they're just really dedicated to clearing out their house. Whatever's going to work for you is totally fine. Me personally, I like to do 15 minutes because that's doable, but it also seems like it makes a little bit of progress. But you set a timer and you're just getting rid of things from one specific area in your house. You're not worrying about organizing, you're not cleaning, you're not tidying back up the area. You are solely just taking out things from an area that should not be there and getting them out of the house. So that can look like a lot of things for you. That can be things that you have used and no longer need or want. It can be clothes that you've outgrown or your kids have outgrown, or it can simply just be trash. Trash takes up the same amount of space as all the other items in your house. So anything that should not be in your house, your goal is to get it out this week. Now, we like to make things really fun. That's what the Purge-A-Thon is all about and what makes it so popular with all of my Instagram followers. And that is because we turn it into a game. Every single thing that you are taking out of your house, you are tallying on a sheet of paper. I've got like a whole guide for you, so you don't even have to try to figure all this out. You can download the guide. I've got the link down below. But you are just going to tally every single thing. If you get rid of 100 sheets of paper, that is 100 tally points on your list. If you get rid of 20 things from your bathroom and they're all little tiny things, that's going to count the same as whether you got rid of 20 pieces of furniture. It makes it so much fun, it makes it easy, and it's not like a stressful situation. You're not having to search for certain items or fill up bags or have a certain end goal. All you're doing is competing against yourself or a friend to just get rid of whatever it is that you don't need. Now, there's only 2 rules to this challenge. The first rule is we do not organize. You are not going to empty out a drawer, take out things you don't need, reorganize that drawer, buy containers, reorganize it again. We're not doing any of that, okay? All we are doing is picking an area, taking out things that shouldn't be there, getting rid of them or rehoming, and that's it. We're not doing any extra work. We're not overwhelming ourselves. We're not turning this into a full day process. We're just getting rid of things and leaving it. You can make a note actually on the sheets that you have that you can download. It even has a section for things that you want to remember later. So if you want to reorganize that drawer or you want to replace the trays that are inside it, you can put that on your sheets and you can go back to it. Now, the second rule of this challenge, and this is the most important, okay? You are not touching anything sentimental. If you try to go through your photos or your baby items or anything that you have some sort of emotional attachment to, your whole amount of time is done. I promise you, you will not get anywhere with it at all. So anything that's sentimental, just leave it for another time. We are just getting rid of things that we have no emotional attachment to at all. You're just opening a kitchen cabinet, looking through that cabinet. Is there anything in here that I don't need? Anything in here I don't want? Anything that's damaged, broken, any kind of reason why it should not be in your house? That's it. That's all we're doing. So each day you will be doing the exact same process, tallying up your items, working through your same amount of time. And on both YouTube and Instagram, I'll be posting extra motivation and inspiration and ideas and tips for you to stay motivated and get the most out of this challenge so you actually have fun doing it. I know decluttering does not sound fun, but I promise you, the Purge-A-Thon, it makes it happen. I don't know. It's just this magical event where thousands of people from all over the world are actually enjoying decluttering their house. Now, speaking of extra tips and inspiration, this year we've brought on a panel of Organized-ish Purge-A-Thon expert guests, and these are decluttering experts from all different types. They all have different specialties, and they are going to be here sharing their tips, interacting with you, and giving you more ideas for what might work in your own space. And now I want to introduce you to all of them.
Hey everyone, my name is Emily and I'm a mom of two from Des Moines, Iowa. When I'm not at my corporate job, I love to share practical organizing ideas, cleaning tips, and real life routines over on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can find me at Small Stuff Emily and all of those places. Leela asked me to share a quick piece of decluttering advice with you today, and my number one tip is to start small and break your projects down into bite-sized pieces. I feel like when we get the decluttering bug and we're ready to dive into decluttering, we can be so excited and try to take on a huge space and a huge project all at once. We just dive right in, and in my experience, that often leads to burnout, and your excitement can quickly fizzle out, and if it does, you are left with a space that is probably messier than when you even started because you've been sorting through things and you don't finish it. So what I would recommend instead is taking that big room and breaking it down into one zone at a time. For example, in your kitchen, if you set a goal to declutter your kitchen this month, let's start with one cabinet or one drawer and work your way through them each one by one. I did this a few years ago and it was amazing how much I was able to accomplish in just a month or so. And it didn't take me like taking a PTO from work or getting a sitter for a day. Honestly, as a busy mom, I would probably never find a whole day to take on one of those huge spaces of decluttering. But in my kitchen example, I just did a single drawer when I had a few minutes on a Saturday. I cleaned out a cabinet one day after work, and before I knew it, my entire kitchen felt cleaned out and tidy and organized. And I didn't really feel like I had devoted much time at all to it. So don't forget to start small, break those projects into bite-sized pieces, and you'll be so glad you started and didn't try to wait until you had like the perfect time to dive into the whole space all at once. If you could use a little bit of decluttering motivation, come find me on social media. I share a lot of videos with quick, attainable organizing projects and cleaning tips, and I would love to connect with you there. My handle is Small Stuff Emily, and that name stems from doing small projects that add up to big results. And I love those quick wins. I love sharing them online, and I'd love to connect with you there. You can also find a freebie from me in the description of this video. That is my free guide to helping busy moms find time for organizing.
Hi there, I'm Ashley Hines, the founder and owner of The Tailored Life. I've been helping clients to live a life that's tailored to their well-being for over 4 years now. So I'm excited to chat with you today. I want to talk about decluttering our children's clothing. So I will tell you, this is an interesting task because it feels like our kids grow so fast, and they do, but this does not have to be a stressful task. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the system we have in our home and why it's really just helped to keep it pretty chill. The big thing is I know how frequently I'm going to do it. So I have actually determined that I will declutter our kids' clothing every quarter. We live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We get all the seasons. And so that is a very clean way for me to always be proactive, making sure that I'm planning and prepping for that next season. So I don't get caught off guard with, do I have the steel pants? Do I have the boots? And it also allows me to be a lot more thoughtful consumer. I'm able to shop the bargains and things like that because I'm always a season or sometimes two ahead. So that's one thing, the cadence. And then I'm very clear on what categories I should be considering as I declutter. So the first, of course, is obvious. That's to keep. Now, I'm very thoughtful about if they like it, if it fits. And so those are some of the things that I consider with determining what to keep. the next category is that donate/sell category. Some of us may prefer to sell our things. There's a lot of virtual means or just cute little boutique kids consignment stores that you can share things with. I will say in our family, we have a clothing train. So I am blessed to have nieces and nephews. My sisters and I have decided that we'll just put the clothes in a train, and we do that. So we're very thoughtful about, I have 3 nieces that are older than my daughter. So she gets clothing from my oldest 3 nieces, and then my daughter's clothes go to my youngest niece. Similarly, I have a nephew who's older than my son, and so he gets clothes from my older nephew, and then the clothes that he grows out of goes to my younger nephew. This has worked really well for us. My oldest nephew is 15 years, so we literally have things that have been going through our family or that have that lifeline on them, 15 years. So it's helping us to get the value out of the clothing. And if that's not something you're doing, I highly recommend it. If not with your siblings, with other friends or acquaintances that you may have who live in your community. So the other thing is thinking about if it's tattered or damaged, that will go to either textile recycling, or if you can upcycle. If you have that skill set, if you are crafty, I say bring new life to the clothing as well. So those are some of the categories that I consider. Also, I didn't mention this, but of course you can donate to a local thrift store as well. Something that aligns with your values would also be a good use of those items to just keep it going, right? To practice sustainability. I will say that our clothes cost a lot for what they're worth. And so as much as we can keep them being used, I think adds to, again, that sustainability, reducing our carbon footprint, all the things. So those are some of the things I consider and how I declutter our children's clothes. Let me know what you do. I would love to continue the conversation. Like this video if you got something out of it. And you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is THEE Tailored Life. Oh, I actually have it here too. So, all right. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Monica Fay. I'm a professional organizer and declutter expert, and I am passionate about the intersection of mental wellness and physical mess and how culture plays a role in our attachment to our things. Now, as a professional organizer, one of the most common questions I get is, how do I let go of those just in case items, the things that you keep that you don't really want or need, but you're keeping them just in case? And because I use mindfulness in how I teach decluttering to my clients, I'm going to use a little bit of that here today. And I feel like if you know the root of why you're attached to something, then you can free yourself from that attachment. Now, one of the most common reasons, I'd say number one, is when somebody has grown up with poverty or financial insecurity or experienced financial insecurity as an adult. You might think that something is a really good deal, so you buy a bunch of them, even though it's not something you needed. It feels really good to have that purchasing power to buy extra things, or the fear that you'll never be able to acquire something again. You might not have the money or the access, and that can be really scary, and it can lead you to hold on to things. We do have to ground ourselves that we are safe and that we have resources to acquire something again if we need it. And the way we do that is we go find out, how much does it cost if I should ever need it again? Where would I buy it? Would I get it online? Do I have access to get it in a store? And if the answer is that you can't acquire it on your own, does someone in your family or community have it that you could borrow? So these are ways that we can start to build that confidence back, that you don't have to keep everything just because you had a past where it was really hard to let go because you didn't have the means to get it again. Also, monetary value is a huge thing that stops people, because people know the price they paid for things and then they didn't use it, or they didn't use it as many times as they wanted to or the way they intended. So they keep it because they're going to squeeze that dollar out of it. They're going to get use out of it one of these days, or they're going to sell it and get all their money back that they wasted. But I challenge you to shift your perspective a little bit on what value means. When we look at something that, let's say a dress that has tags on, and we were supposed to wear it to a wedding, but we ended up wearing something else, and it's been sitting there for a year. We might think, oh man, that's a dress that I'm going to have to wear one of these days because it has a tag on it, or I'm going to have to sell it close to the price of what I got it for. What if we were to say that maybe the usage wasn't what was intended to wear it to a wedding, but usage was had from that product, and the usage was ownership. The usage was, it was there if you needed it. And if we can wrap our minds around the shift of the product did get use, just not what we intended, one, we can let go knowing that it was used as ownership. And two, that we want to be more mindful of the usage of our items in the future. When we own things, we care to keep them in rotation in our life and enjoy them. Now, the third thing that people fear in letting go of those just in case is when you live a life full of memories and you start to look through them, you can feel sad that your life is no longer that vibrant, that you don't have those good times, that youth. You're not as skinny, you're not as adventurous, you didn't travel, you didn't do the hobby that you were going to start, and you start to feel empty. And so people cling on to things saying, well, I'm going to remember every good time. I'm going to keep this item because I'm going to go and finally start this hobby or this sport or go travel or do this art. Instead, what we need to do is living the full life right now, planning a life that is fulfilling artistically and a good conversation and good food. And when we have a life that feels more fulfilled, we can let go of some of these physical memories because you don't have to keep every single memory, even the good ones, because your life is still making more as we continue on. Now, the fourth thing is decision making. Confidence in decision making is really, really difficult for people with ADHD and neurodivergent people or people struggling with executive functioning. That could come from trauma, of course. It could also come from just going through a bad time in life. What happens is we do not believe that we can make a good decision, and if we let go of something, it will be a mistake. The antidote to that is information, making sure that we have the correct information so it can release us from ownership. So many papers don't need to be kept if you know what papers need to be kept. So I hope these give you a little more confidence, give you a little bit more to think about as you're mindfully decluttering. And if you'd like to learn more about the way I teach about the philosophy of letting go, please find me on Instagram at Miss Monica Faye.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Biner, and I am the creator of Steph Small Spaces and livinginsmallspaces.com, where we help people make the most of their smaller homes. I am so excited to be a part of Layla's annual Purge-A-Thon. So today I actually wanted to walk you through why decluttering in small homes is so different than larger homes and why you need the right systems in place to help get you from cluttered to decluttered in just 7 days. In a smaller home, we have less storage space, which means there is no room for the maybes. Unlike larger homes that have garages, attics, or basements to hold those maybe items until they decide to declutter or not, we don't have that. So there is less room for those types of decisions. You really have to either love something or have a purpose for something in order to keep it. Which brings me into the next point, that everything must earn its place. We aren't keeping things that we don't 100% love, that aren't useful or multifunctional in a small home. The last thing I'll say is that clutter builds faster in smaller homes. And for those of you who live in a small home, know that one extra thing can feel overwhelming. To avoid all of that, I'm going to share my quick 3-step system to keeping clutter at bay. This 3-part system is all a part of our upcoming courses that will teach you how to declutter, organize, and create systems and routines in your small home that will help make your life so much simpler and more manageable. Now, this system has single-handedly changed my life in our smaller home. I actually don't know how I would go back to living any other way, and it has made me so much more intentional with every single purchase I make. This system is the 1 in, 1 out rule. So that means nothing enters our home without something leaving, whether that is through donating, gifting, or recycling. For example, I need to buy my daughter some new shoes because she is outgrowing her other ones, but nothing will come in my house without something leaving. So her old shoes will either be recycled, if not, then donated. So the last system that I have is if it doesn't have a home, it doesn't stay in mine. You know those things that you have laying out on your countertops or on the tabletop, maybe it's by the entryway. If those don't have a home, and they've been sitting there for more than a week, it is clutter. So if you can't find a use for them or a home for those things, then those things need to be removed because it is just adding to the level of clutter. I also wanted to say a big thank you to Leela for having me be a part of your annual Purge-A-Thon, and I'm so excited for each and every one of you that are joining this year. If you live in a small home and you don't already follow me at Steph's Small Spaces on Instagram or pretty much anywhere, you can also check out our free guides, resources, and everything else on livinginsmallspaces.com. And I've also included my 30-day decluttering challenge, and I'm sure you can find it in the link below.
Hi, I am Jenna Provance, and I'm the face behind Organized-ish Home. Today I'm going to talk about some simple systems that you can put in place every day to help your home run a little bit more smoothly. They are drop zones, and they are essential for keeping that clutter at bay. The first one is the daily drop zone. What's most important is that everything is in its place and everything has its place. So have a basket for shoes if you don't have a mudroom, have a hook for jackets, have a place for your keys. Everything should go in that spot as soon as you walk through the door. The pro tip that I have for you is that every person in your household should have their own basket for shoes and their own hook for their jackets. This will just keep everybody's own spot just as neatly organized as possible. The second drop zone is the mail drop zone. So the mail adds up quickly. It comes in every single day, and staying on top of it is key for paper clutter. My recommendation is going through it right away. Just identify the recycling, identify the trash, and get rid of it. And then when you have the rest of the mail, you can slowly sort through that, but you just have this small stack that you need to go through, and it's way less daunting. My pro tip here would be to have some sort of an organizer that you can keep off of your countertops so that your countertops stay clear and you don't have all of the paper just accumulating day after day. The third drop zone is the school papers drop zone. We are a busy family. I have 3 children. Papers are constantly coming in the door nonstop. There's artwork, there's field trip forms, homework that needs to be accounted for, papers that I need to read and signed and send back. My biggest tip here is using the vertical space again in any area of your home, and each child gets their own folder. Whenever something comes home, I quickly look through it. I try to see if there is anything that I need to go over quickly and sign and needs to go back, but I do not throw anything away. Trust me on this, because it is inevitable that 3 weeks down the road, they're going to be missing XYZ paper and it's already in the trash. So everybody has a folder. It goes straight into the folder. I keep it on the wall. Once that is full, then I move it to long-term storage. So that just helps to keep everything in line. The kids know where everything is. They know that I haven't thrown anything away and that it's there if they need it. While I only shared 3 drop zones today, there are many more. For example, you could have a drop zone on the stairs for items that need to go upstairs. There is a drop zone that you could set up in your bathroom for toiletry items that you use every day, or even a drop zone for donation items that you would like to donate. I hope that these tips were helpful today, and I hope that you set up drop zones in your house so that your home can run smoothly and more efficiently as well. Give me a follow over on Instagram. My handle is Organized-ish Home. I share home organizing, decluttering, and simple living tips.
Hi, my name is Rachel Rosenthal, and I'm a devoted mother of 17-year-old identical twins, a passionate wife and entrepreneur, and the owner of Rachel & Company, which is a national firm who specializes in white glove organizing, home management moves, and closet design. We have worked with over 5,000 political appointees, CEOs, athletes, actors, you name it, and we have been recognized as one of the top most trusted organizing experts in the country, and have worked with amazing brands like The Container Store and Four Seasons, to name a few. And I've also been featured in over 100 publications, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, InStyle, CNN, and many others. And I have been a keynote and conference speaker. I love sharing my insights around organization, cleaner living, and mental health. And finally, I work with a lot of other female entrepreneurs, providing private coaching and one-on-one coaching, as well as an exclusive retreat that I run to help them with their businesses. So I want to talk about how decluttering elevates your home, your mind, and your entire life. Decluttering does not just transform your home. I believe it can elevate your entire life, from your mental health to your physical environment. Let's start off with talking about peace of mind. When you're surrounded by clutter, It creates chaos both in your environment and in your mind. Clutter can feel overwhelming, it can feel stressful, and that constant mental noise affects how you actually move through the world. When you actually declutter your space, you're creating room for that calm. There's no more distractions, it's just clarity and focus. Decluttering also has a huge impact on your mental health. You think about it when you walk into a room that is cluttered versus one that is neat and organized. I feel like it's a night and day difference. And an organized space promotes relaxation, it can help calm anxiety, and helps you feel truly more at ease. That's why I love helping my clients create a space that not only helps them with their well-being, but it doesn't drain it. And when you declutter, it's not just about getting rid of the physical things, it's actually also about helping you set up sustainable, easy to maintain systems. So whether you're organizing a closet or your kitchen or an office, everything should have a place when you're done. This simple act can create a sense of control, which is really empowering for you both mentally and emotionally. When your home is organized, it reflects a clear, intentional mindset. It's about aligning your space and goals, your values, and your peace of mind. So decluttering is one of the most effective ways, I believe, as an organizer who has been doing this for 15 years, to help make you feel more at peace, more in control, and more uplifted in your daily life. It makes space for what truly matters to you. So whether that's your family or your work or just some much needed relaxation, it makes space for that. So if you're ready to start on your journey to a more organized, peaceful, elevated life, I would love to help, and I completely recommend decluttering first. Don't skip to the organizing. Decluttering is the main and most important step on your organizing journey. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Further than this, you can find me at Rachel Organizes on Instagram. Follow along with the rest of this adventure that we're going on, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. Thank you for having me.
Okay, are you hyped yet? Because I know I am. I participate in this challenge myself. I go through my own house. I am a professional organizer and my house piles up just like yours does. So I will be doing this with you and all those tips that got me ready to go. So what we're gonna do is tonight, I want you to just go through the papers, figure out your plan, whether you want to use one of the pre-created plans that I have in the guide, or if you want to create your own. I want you to go grab some trash bags, get those shipping boxes that are in the garage, and have them ready to go for all of your donations. And first thing tomorrow morning, we are doing this. I hope you're excited. I hope you're ready. This is gonna be so much fun. I'm so grateful that you are here with us and that you're going to be a part of this challenge. And I hope you love it enough to come back and do it again next season and the one after that and the one after that, because it really just, I can't even explain to you how you're gonna feel once this is over. So buckle up, give me 7 days, and I promise you, you are gonna see some huge results. Make sure you're following me on Instagram because that's where most of the content is going to happen. All the videos will be uploaded here as shorts, but on Instagram is where the broadcast channel is, so you can talk with other participants, you can share your daily challenges, you can also upload your progress photos into your stories. I love sharing those and everyone loves to see them too. So to really get that community aspect, Instagram is where you're going to want to be. Now, let me know down in the comments what section you're planning on decluttering first in your house. What is it that when you think about it, it makes you cringe a little bit, because that's where you're going to want to start. I'll see you tomorrow.